الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون. لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون. إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون. وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون. وسواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون. إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم. إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين. واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم 2 فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون. قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون. قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين. قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم. قالوا طائركم معكم أئن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون. وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون. وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون. أتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغني عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون. إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين. إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون. قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين. وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون. يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون. ألم يروا كم أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون إنهم إليهم لا يرجعون. وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون. وآية لهم الأرض الميتة أحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون. وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وأعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون. سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون. وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون. والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم. والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالعرجون القديم. شو تريد؟ ليش؟ شنو فلوس؟ يا فلوس عاد خليك من القرآن. لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون. وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم ولا هم ينقذون. تقرأ قرآن إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين. وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون. وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين. وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين. ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون. ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون. قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون صدق الله العلي العظيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Half an hour for dua for you? 25? I'll continue a little bit then. Because I was thinking half an hour. Half an hour is good? اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. يا الله يا رحمن يا رحيم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلبي على دينك. Ya Allah, بحق محمد وآل Muhammad, may these few verses that we have recited be a token of love and gratitude and thawab to the Imam of our time and to all our marhumin, inshallah. To all my brothers and sisters and their marhumin, thawab of these few verses. Inshallah, very shortly we'll have our brother Sayyid Sajjad Radwi, inshallah. That'll bless us with a few, with dua kumail, inshallah. Please remember all of us in your prayers. We all need your prayers inshallah. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم والعن وأهلك أعداءهم أجمعين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا اللهم إني أسألك برحمتك التي وسعت كل شيء وبقوتك التي قهرت بها كل شيء وخضع لها كل شيء وذل لها كل شيء وبجبروتك التي غلبت بها كل شيء وبعزتك التي لا يقوم لها شيء وبعظمتك التي ملأت كل شيء وبسلطانك الذي على كل شيء وبوجهك الباقي بعد فناء كل شيء وبأسمائك التي ملأت أركان كل شيء وبعلمك الذي أحاط بكل شيء وبنور وجهك الذي أضاء له كل شيء يا نور يا قدوس يا أول الأولين ويا آخر الآخرين اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تهتك العصام اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل النقم. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تغير النعم. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تحبس الدعاء. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تقطع الرجاء. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل البلاء. اللهم اغفر لي كل ذنب أذنبته وكل خطيئة أخطأتها. اللهم إني أتقرب إليك بذكرك وأستشفع بك إلى نفسك وأسألك بجودك أن تدنيني من قربك وأن توزعني شكرك وأن تلهمني ذكرك. اللهم إني أسألك سؤال خاضع متذلل خاشع أن تسامحني وترحمني وتجعلني بقسمك راضيا قانعا وفي جميع الأحوال متواضعا. اللهم وأسألك سؤال من اشتدت فاقته وأنزل بك عند الشدائد حاجته وعظم فيما عندك رغبته. اللهم عظم سلطانك وعلى مكانك وخفي مكرك وظهر أمرك وغلب قهرك وجرت قدرتك ولا يمكن الفرار من حكومتك. اللهم لا أجد لذنوب غافرا ولا لقبائحي ساترا ولا لشيء من عملي القبيح بالحسن مبدلا غيرك. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك وبحمدك. ظلمت نفسي وتجرأت بجهلي وسكنت إلى قديم ذكرك لي ومنك علي. اللهم مولاي كم من قبيح سترته وكم من فادح من البلاء أقلته وكم من عثار وقيته وكم من مكروه دفعته وكم من ثناء جميل لست أهلا له نشرته. اللهم عظم بلائي وأفرط بي سوء حالي وقصرت بي أعمالي وقعدت بي أغلالي وحبسني عن نفع بعد أملي وخدعتني الدنيا بغرورها ونفسي بجنايتها ومطالي. يا سيدي فأسألك بعزتك ألا يحجب عنك دعائي سوء عمله وفعالي ولا تفضحني بخفي ما اطلعت عليه من سري ولا تعاجلني بالعقوبة على ما عملته في خلواتي من سوء فعلي وإساءتي ودوام تفريطي وجهالتي وكثرة شهواتي وغفلتي. وكن اللهم بعزتك لي في كل الأحوال رؤوفا وعلي في جميع الأمور عطوفا. إلهي وربي من لي غيرك. إلهي وربي من لي غيرك. أسأله كشف ضري والنظر في أمري. إلهي ومولاي أجريت علي حكما اتبعت فيه هوى نفسي ولم أحترز فيه من تزيين عدوي فغرني بما أهوى وأسعده على ذلك القضاء فتجاوزت بما جرى علي من ذلك بعض حدودك، وخالفت بعض أوامرك، فلك الحمد علي في جميع ذلك، ولا حجة لي فيما جرى علي فيه قضاؤك، وألزمني حكمك وبلاؤك. وقد أتيتك يا إلهي بعد تقصيري وإسرافي على نفسي، معتذرا نادما منكسرا مستقيلا، مستغفرا منيبا، مقرا مذعنا معترفا. لا أجد مفرا مما كان مني، ولا مفزعا أتوجه إليه في أمري غير قبولك عذري وإدخالك إياي في سعة رحمتك. اللهم فاقبل عذري وارحم شدة ضري، وفكني من شد وثاقي. يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني ورقة جلدي ودقة عظمي، يا من بدأ خلقي وذكري وتربيتي وبري وتغذيتي. هبني لابتداء كرمك وسالف برك بي، يا إلهي وسيدي وربي. أتراك معذب بنارك بعد توحيدك، وبعد ما انطوى عليه قلبي من معرفتك، ولهج به لساني من ذكرك، واعتقده ضميري من حبك، وبعد صدق اعترافي ودعائي خاضعا لربوبيتك. هيهات هيهات، أنت أكرم من أن تضيع من ربيته، أو تبعد من أدنيته، أو تشرد من آويته، أو تسلم إلى البلاء من كفيته ورحمته. وليت شعري يا سيدي وإلهي ومولاي، أتسلط النار على وجوه خرت لعظمتك ساجدة، وعلى ألسن نطقت بتوحيدك صادقة، وبشكرك مادحة، وعلى قلوب اعترفت بإلهيتك محققة، وعلى ضمائر حوت من العلم بك حتى صارت خاشعة، وعلى جوارح سعت إلى أوطان تعبدك طائعة، وأشارت باستغفارك مذعنة. ما هكذا الظن بك، ولا أخبرن بفضلك عنك يا كريم يا رب. وأنت تعلم ضعفي عن قليل من بلاء الدنيا وعقوباتها، وما يجري فيها من المكاره على أهلها، على أن ذلك بلاء ومكروه، قليل مكثوه، يسير بقاؤه، قصير مدته. فكيف احتمالي لبلاء الآخرة وجليل وقوع المكاره فيها، وهو بلاء تطول مدته ويدوم مقامه، ولا يخفف عن أهله، لأنه لا يكون إلا عن غضبك وانتقامك وسخطك. وهذا ما لا تقوم له السماوات والأرض. يا سيدي يا سيدي، فكيف لي وأنا عبدك الضعيف الذليل الحقير المسكين المستكين. يا إلهي وربي وسيدي ومولاي، لأي الأمور إليك أشكو، ولما منها ضج وأبكي، لأليم العذاب وشدته أم لطول البلاء ومدته؟ فلئن صيرتني للعقوبات مع أعدائك وجمعت بيني وبين أهل بلائك وفرقت بيني وبين أحبائك وأوليائك فهبني يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي وربي. صبرت على عذابك فكيف أصبر على فراقك؟ وهبني صبرت على حر نارك فكيف أصبر عن النظر إلى كرامتك؟ أم كيف أسكن في النار ورجائي عفوك؟ فبعزتك يا سيدي ومولاي أقسم صادقا لئن تركتني ناطقا لأبدن إليك بين أهلها وزيج الآملين ولأصرخن إليك صراخ المستصرخين ولأبكين عليك بكاء الفاقدين ولو نادينك أين كنت يا ولي المؤمنين يا غاية آمال العارفين يا غياث المستغيثين يا حبيب قلوب الصادقين ويا إله العالمين أفطراك سبحانك يا إلهي وبحمدك تسمع فيها صوت عبد مسلم سجن فيها بمخالفته وذاق طعم عذابها بمعصيته وحبس بين أطباقها بجرمه وجريرته وهو يوج إليك وجيد مؤمل لرحمتك ويناديك بلسان أهل توحيدك ويتوسل إليك بربوبيتك. يا مولاي فكيف يبقى في العذاب وهو يرجو ما سلف من حلمك؟ أم كيف تؤلمه النار وهو يأمل فضلك ورحمتك؟ أم كيف يحرقه لهيبها وأنت تسمع صوته وترى مكانه؟ أم كيف يشتمل عليه زفيرها وأنت تعلم ضعفه؟ وأم كيف يتقلقل بين أطباقها وأنت تعلم صدقه؟ أم كيف تزجره زبانيتها وهو يناديك يا ربه؟ أم كيف يرجو فضلك في عتقه منها فتتركه فيها؟ هيهات هيهات ما ذلك الظن بك ولا المعروف من فضلك ولا مشبه لما عاملت به الموحدين من برك وإحسانك. فباليقين أقطع لولا ما حكمت به من تعذيب جاحديك وقضيت به من إخلاد معانديك لجعلت النار كلها بردا وسلاما وما كان لأحد فيها مقرا ولا مقاما. لكنك تقدست أسماؤك أقسمت أن تملها من الكافرين من الجنة والناس أجمعين وأن تخلد فيها المعاندين وأنت جلت ثناؤك قلت مبتدئا وتطولت بالإنعام متكرما أفمن كان مؤمنا كمن كان فاسقا لا يستوون. إلهي وسيدي إلهي وسيدي فأسألك بالقدرة التي قدرتها وبالقضية التي حتمتها وحكمتها، وغلبت من عليه أجريتها، أن تهب لي في هذه الليلة وفي هذه الساعة كل جرم أجرمته وكل ذنب أذنبته وكل قبيح أسررته وكل جهل عملته، كتمته أو أعلنته، أخفيته أو أظهرته، وكل سيئة أمرت بإثباتها الكرام الكاتبين الذين وكلتهم بحفظ ما يكون مني، وجعلتهم شهودا علي مع جوارحي، وكنت أنت الرقيب علي من ورائهم والشاهد لما خفي عنهم، وبرحمتك أخفيته وبفضلك سترته، وأن توفر حظي من كل خير أنزلته أو إحسان فضلته أو بر نشرته أو رزق بسطته أو ذنب تغفره أو خطأ تستره. يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي ومالك رقي، يا من بيده ناصيتي، يا عليما بضري ومسكنتي، يا خبيرا فقري وفاقتي، يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، أسألك بحقك وقدسك وأعظم صفاتك وأسمائك أن تجعل أوقاتي من الليل والنهار بذكرك معمورة وبخدمتك موصولة وأعمالي عندك مقبولة، حتى تكون أعمالي وأورادي كلها بردا واحدا وحالي في خدمتك سرمدا. يا سيدي يا من عليه معولي، يا من إليه شكوت أحوالي، يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، قو على خدمتك جوارحي واشدد على العزيمة جوانحي، وهب لي الجد في خشيتك والدوام في الاتصال بخدمتك، حتى أسرح إليك في ميادين السابقين وأسرع إليك في البارزين، واشتاق إلى قربك في المشتاقين، وأدنو منك دنو المخلصين، وأخاف مخافة الموقنين، واجتمع في جوارك مع المؤمنين. اللهم ومن أرادني بسوء فأرده، ومن كادني فكيده، واجعلني من أحسن عبيدك نصيبا عندك، وأقربهم منزلة منك، وأخصهم زلفة لديك، فإنه لا ينال ذلك إلا بفضلك. وجد لي بجودك، وعطف علي بمجدك، واحفظني برحمتك، واجعل لساني بذكرك لهجا، وقلبي بحبك متيما، ومن علي بحسن إجابتك، وأقلني عثرتي واغفر زلتي، فإنك قضيت على عبادك بعبادتك وأمرتهم بدعائك وضمنت لهم الإجابة. فإليك يا ربي نسبت وجهي، فإليك يا ربي نسبت وجهي، وإليك يا ربي مددت يدي. فبعزتك استجب دعائي وبلغني مناي، ولا تقطع من فضلك رجائي، واكفني شر الجن والإنس من أعدائي. يا سريع الرضا، يا سريع الرضا، يا سريع الرضا، اغفر لمن لا يملك إلا الدعاء، فإنك فعال لما تشاء. يا من اسمه دواء وذكره شفاء وطاعته غنى، ارحم من رأس ماله الرجاء وسلاحه البكاء. يا سابغ النعم، يا دافع النقام، يا نور المستوحشين في الظلام، يا عالما لا يعلم، صل على محمد وآل محمد وافعل بما أنت أهله. وصلى الله على رسوله والأئمة الميامين من آله وسلم تسليما كثيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآله.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. May Allah bless to you. Last time I saw my brothers was in the holy, beautiful days of Ramadan al-Kareem. May Allah continue that spiritual blessing and save us from the attacks of shaitan, la'natullah alayh. And collectively, may Allah guide us under His guidance and the blessings and the teachings of Ahlul Bayt. Today, alhamdulillah, we have our respected Dr. Mohebbi that will help us continue and strengthen that path, as sometimes we fall and sometimes we have we're held by our brothers in walking this difficult path. So inshallah, Dr. Mohebbi will bless us with a few lessons. Yesterday, and we'll commemorate the anniversary of the destruction of Jannat al-Baqi, the graveyard of al-Baqi in Medina. May Allah first of all bless you and us, inshallah, for that ziyarah for Baqi, ziyarah of Rasul Azam sallallahu alayhi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And under the imamah, under the leadership of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam, may the shrine, the darih, be resurrected, be constructed to the maqam and the respect that it deserves. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that with the shafa'ah of the Imma, the Ma'sumin al-Baqi, that we're able to make that connection, inshallah. Without me further ado, maybe a small request for Surah Al-Fatiha for your and our marhumeen on this blessed Friday night, on this Thursday night, that we can send a small little token of our love by way of Surah Al-Fatiha for all our marhumeen, all those that are sick that need your and our prayers. We'll dedicate Surah Al-Fatiha تسبيح الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. There are some pins here, sorry. We can take them off. No, is that okay? Yeah, sure. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله على جميع محامده كلها وعلى جميع نعمه كلها. استغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو ذو الجلال والإكرام وأتوب إليه. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So the topic that I have chosen for today is related to the event that happened around maybe 100 years ago. It happened in Medina. And Wahhabi and Al Saud, they came together and they distracted the holy shrine of the Aimah of the Baqi, and this is the Shawwal 8th. And as you know, it happened twice. If you go to the history of the Wahhabiyah, they have two terms of there are two eras of their government. The first era, they go and capture the Medina, and they distracted the Baqi as well. It happened in 1220, the year of the 1220 after Hijrah. So they destroyed the Baqi, the holy shrine of the Baqi, of the Aimah of the Baqi. But after that, the Uthmani actually took over the government, and then actually they renovated and they constructed again the Baqi. But after maybe 100 years later, they came back and they attacked the Medina as well. As you know, the government of the Arabia, it was based on Uthmani lineage, and they ruled over all of the Islamic countries, especially Medina. Medina and Mecca was under their rule. However, when Al Saud and Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, they came together and united together. Al Saud was the politician, and Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab was the leader of theoretician. He was a theoretician of Wahhabism. They came together and then they combined, and they destroyed actually the Baqi. It happened 1220, and also after that, when Uthmani repaired the holy shrine of the Baqi, when they repaired the holy shrines of the Baqi, they attacked again another time, and in this time actually they destroyed all of the buildings of the Baqi, especially the Aimah of Baqi. And from that time up to here, it happened, in the year of 1344 after Hijrah, almost 100 years ago. And from that time, you can see that this picture is that picture was the holy shrine of the Baqi, 100 years ago. And you can see that the holy shrine of the Ayman salam, the four Ayman salam, they are here. But after that, they destroyed the holy shrine, and it become like regular grave on the earth. So, as you know, so based on this, the Wahhabism is very important. What is the core belief of Wahhabism? If you talk to the Wahhabi, I'm interested in Wahhabism a lot, and I watch all of the satellite channel that they have it. This is my hobby, and I look at it. The most important thing that they said, they said that we are not extreme, we are intellectual. They consider themselves as a reformist. They said that, Islam was mixed with something like fabricated items. Islam is not pure. And what we are doing, we are trying to purify Islam with bid'ah, with all components that had been added to the Islam by scholars, by the Muslims, and we are going to take them away. So they consider themselves as a reformist. But they are very, very extreme. Whatever they believe, they want to apply this by force, and they are extreme in this case. They are extreme in action, but they are actually reformists in belief. And the most important thing that they said is, they said that Islam was mixed with shirk. Rasulullah came to this world, and he tried to remove all of the Rasulullah came to this world, and he wanted to destroy all of the shirk items in this world. However, after he passed away, Muslims, they came and, they gradually, they use all of the items that Rasulullah removed them. They put it back into the Islam, and Islam was mixed with something like that. And this is those items, the shirk. If you see the flag of the Wahhabism is the shirk. They are only muwahhid in the Muslim in the world. We are only muwahhid. We are only monotheists in the Islam. And all of the people that they are not similar to us, they are mushrik, especially Sunni. They accuse Sunni for some khurafat, for some fabricated beliefs, for some shirk items. Most their attack goes to the Shia. They consider Shia as mushrik for sure. Sometimes they call us as a kafir. Sometimes they call us as a mushrik. Sometimes they call us as a munafiq. Sometimes they call us as a bid'ah. We are putting people that they are waiting in the Islam. Any terms that you can see, they accuse us for that terms. So, I just want to go to it's a very big topic. I don't want, for example, to go to the depths of this, but today I just want to go to one of the shubahat that they address, and I want to address this based on the Quran. If you go to the Quran, Tawheed is for sure, Tawheed is one of the core of the Quran. Ma min ilahin illallah. This is Tawheed. Huwallahu ahad. Aghayrallahi abqikum ilaha. Ilahuna wa ilahukum wahid. Those are those verses of the Quran that clearly says about Tawheed. For example, you can choose one. فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا. Don't associate any partner for Allah. فَلَا تَدْعُوا مَعَ اللَّهِ أَحَدًا. Only ask Allah. Don't ask beside Allah anyone else. For sure, Tawheed is the core of the Islam. And if you go to all of the religion, Islam is recognized as the most important. Monotheism is mostly goes to the Islam. We have divine religions like Christianity, we have Judaism, but Islam is recognized as monotheism mostly because Tawheed is the part of Islam. If you go and see that, for example, in the Quran we have many verses that There is only Allah. And Tawheed was one of the major message of all of the Anbiya. Look at this ayah. فَقَالَ يَا قَوْمِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مَا لَكُم مِّنْ إِلَٰهٍ غَيْرَهُ. So this message, exactly this verse, has been repeated but many prophets in the Quran, Hazrat Nuh, Hazrat Hud, Hazrat Saleh, and Hazrat Shu'aib. These 4 prophets, they exactly use the same verse in the Quran. Quran report them by the same verse. They call their nations and they said, "U'budullah, only worship Allah. Ma lakum min ilahin ghayra." So why you are worshiping another God other than Allah? مَا لَكُم مِّنْ إِلَٰهٍ غَيْرَهُ اُعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ. Right? So this is the message of the Anbiya. Or the above verse that لَا إِلَٰهَ إِلَّا أَنَا فَاعْبُدُونَ. There is no Allah, there is no God other than me, فَاعْبُدُونَ. Only worship me. Right? This is the message of the Quran. If you go to the ahadith of Ahlul Bayt, if you go to the school of Ahlul Bayt, Tawheed is one of the core part of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. And this is the signature of Ahlul Bayt. You cannot find this definition of the Tawheed in any school of thought and any religion. I'rafullah bayna al-haddain. اعرفوا الله بين الحدين أو يخرجه من حدين حد التعطيل وحد التشبيه. If you want to have a right ma'arifah about Allah, recognize Allah or consider Allah between two limits, حد التعطيل and حد التشبيه. حد التعطيل means what? Means don't say something that it looks that Allah doesn't exist. Right? Don't negate Allah. Allah exists. Haddu ta'atil. Allah exists. Haddu tashbih, what does it mean? Don't say anything about Allah that you are making analogy between Allah and all other creations. So, not comparison and not, for example, negation the existence of Allah. Allah exists, but not in a way that you describe Allah. He became analogous to other creation. So this is very interesting. Haddu ta'atil and haddu tashbih. This is the moderate belief of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. We have the same thing for the justice of Allah. Ahlul Bayt actually said that Allah is, we don't have jabr and we don't have tafwiz, bal amrun bayn al-amrayn. There is no jabr, there is no, for example, determinism, and there is no tafwiz, there is no just delegation, everything to the creation. There is amrun bayn al-adl. In the adl, in the justice, we have actually Ahlul Bayt they define justice in between, and this is also, there are 2 limits. They define 2 limits for the Tawheed. And if you want to talk about Allah, talk in this regime, in this domain. Don't negate Allah, don't negate existence of Allah, and don't, for example, compare Allah with something else. So I don't want to go to all of the ahadith that I put here. I don't want to talk about them. If you go to the definition of the shirk, if you want to see what is the meaning of the shirk, we need to go to the lughah. What thing is go to the kitabul dictionary. What is the meaning of the shirk? If you go to the book of in the Arabic dictionary, Mu'jam al-Maqayis al-Lughah Ibn Faris, which is a very, very interesting, very actually very authentic book, and it's very important. Kitabul Ayn is the very earliest dictionary in the Arabic. Kitabul Ayn, Ahmad ibn Khalil. It's one of the, I guess it was written in 150 years after Hijrah. And he was Shia, Ahmad ibn Khalil, he was Shia. And his famous narration about Amir al-Mu'minin, it's very interesting. He was Shia, and he wrote the first dictionary book in Islam. And, he mentioned that احتياج الخلق إليه. When he wanted to describe Amir al-Mu'minin, he said احتياج الخلق إليه واستغناؤه احتياج الكل إليه واستغناؤه عن الكل دليل على أنه إمام الكل. It's very interesting. He said that everyone at the time of Amir al-Mu'minin, they needed Amir al-Mu'minin, but he needed anyone at his time. So it means that he is the Imam of everyone, right? This is the very famous, actually, expression from Khalid ibn Ahmad ibn Khalid. Okay, so what is the meaning of the shirk? Shirk means khaltul milkain. We have one property and two parties, they go and they became actually the same, they have the same share for this property. Khaltul milkain, right? So there is some possession and two parties, they have the same share for this party, the same share. Mukhalatatu sharikain, two partners, they have the same thing, they have the same share over one property. This is the meaning of the shirk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So shirk means exactly you have two parties, but they have the same share over one thing. They are exactly equal with each other. There is nothing between these two. Yes, you can define, for example, shiraka in percentage, but if you say that they are sharik means they have exactly the same share over that property. So this is the meaning of the shirk in the lugha. And if we go and analyze this, most importantly, what is the actual, if you want, for example, to say shirk, I don't want to go to the depths of why it is correct. If you want to accuse anyone for the shirk that you are mushrik, you need to define what is your criteria of the shirk? How do you define that this person is mushrik or this action is shirk? You need first to define what is your criteria. What is your criteria to define shirk? So don't accuse anyone as a mushrik. If you see that someone says that you are mushrik or he's mushrik, first ask him, what is your criteria about this? And by having this, you can challenge him, and you can see that most of the people that accuse people of shirk, they are not very accurate. This is the final, conclusion. If you want, in the shirk is exactly this. We have two types of beings in the world. One of the being is independent being, which is only Allah. Allah is the independent being. He doesn't need anything in the world, and his existence is based on himself, right? He doesn't depend on anyone. He is needless, and he's independent, and he's a necessary being, right? And all of the beings other than him, they are no possible beings, or they are dependent beings. We have Rab. Rab means the being that he is independent of anything, and we have Abd or Makhluqat that they are dependent on every aspect of their life. We are dependent. I'm here, but I'm not here by myself. Allah gave me istata'a. Allah gave me power to be able to stand up here to speak to you. You are here not by yourself. You are dependent on many items that you are sitting here. So if you go and analyze this, you can see that we have two types of beings: independent being and dependent beings. Independent beings is only Allah. Is only Allah. So shirk exactly means that if you consider someone similar to Allah, mukhalatatu sharikain. Allah is the independent item, is the independent being in the world. If you consider someone as an independent being in the world, yes, that should be shirk. If I, for example, if I go to the doctor, if I go to the doctor and ask a doctor to, for example, to treat me, but I considered him as a person that his knowledge is independent. He obtained this knowledge by himself. He is not needed in anything at that time. I'm mushrik. Even I refer to the doctor. If I ask someone to help me, but I consider him that his knowledge or his power or his skills, they are independent. He is independent on his knowledge. That is shirk. So the only correct criteria that you can say that someone is mushrik is this: in his intention, in his thought, he considers someone as an independent. And he considers him as a partner of Allah. Because Allah is the only independent being in the world. If someone is compatible to Allah in his independence, that should be shirk, right? If I consider this, if I consider that being as Allah, right? Okay, so just as a summary, Allah is independent being. Shirk is exactly this. If I call someone, but I consider him as an independent, that should be shirk. But if I call someone, but my intention is that his power is based on the power that Allah gave him, it is not shirk at all. If I refer to the doctor, but I consider doctor as a being, as a makhluk, that his knowledge is upon of Allah, is based on Allah, it is not shirk. So this is the concept of the shirk. And it doesn't really matter. You can apply this to, for example, anything. You can refer to a doctor, you can refer to a teacher, you can refer to a, for example, mechanical person, to repair your car. It can be mushrik because your thought can be that, that skill that he has it, he obtained this independently. It is shirk, right? But you can ask someone to help you. But if your intention is this, that whatever he has is billah, is min Allah, it is not shirk at all. This is the only criteria that we should always keep it. Okay, so having said that, what Wahhabi do, the issue with Wahhabi is this. When you ask Wahhabi, okay, your definition of the shirk is not based on the dictionary. Your definition of the shirk is not based on the intellect. They said, okay, look, in the Quran, we have many verses in the Quran that Allah describe infidels or pagans at the time of Rasulullah as mushrik. And you can see that whatever your action is very similar to them. So because of this, you should be mushrik. Okay, so first thing that you should do is exactly go and ask them what is your criteria. And you can challenge them. And you can actually discuss that the only correct criteria is independent, right? If you consider someone as an independent and ask him, that should be shirk. They agreed on this. They said yes, but the problem is this. If you go to the Quran, we have many verses in the Quran that Quran describe the kafirin and mushrikeen at the time of Rasulullah by this description, by this definition, and you are acting exactly similar to them. So you should be mushrik, right? Allah asked them, لا تدعوا مع الله إلها غيره. لا تدعوا مع الله إلها. Don't ask Allah with Allah someone else. This is Quran actually asked, but you are doing the same thing, right? So I just want to go to some other ayat that how we can address this. Okay, this is the verse that they use. They said that O mu'minin لتجدن أشد الناس عداوة للذين آمنوا اليهود والذين أشركوا. This is the big message that they have it. They said that the most dangerous enemy that you Muslim have it, they are Jewish and they are mushrikeen. And mushrikeen at this time, they are Shia. If you see the ISIS, ISIS brought up this actually verse, and based on this verse, they accused us as a mushrik, and they said, okay, you are Shia and you are mushrik and you are the most enemy of the Muslim, and we are supposed to fight with you and kill you. And they brought up this ayah as well. It doesn't work. So Sajjad, can you please change this? I cannot change it. Oh. Okay. Yes. No, yes, in this ayah. يا أيها النبي جاهد الكفار والمنافقين واغلظ عليهم. They said, Allah asked Rasulullah that go and fight with a kuffar, munafiqeen, and be very serious with them. So we should be very serious with you because you are kuffar, we are kafir, you are mushrik, you are munafiq. That's actually the way that they go. And these are the posts at the time of the ISIS. They have these posters, and they said that Yahud and Majus. Majus, they are Iranians and Shia. Yahud and Majus, they are the same. They are the same enemy for people, for Muslim. And they showed this picture, and that they try to be away from all of the Muslim. So they recited this ayah. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ فَرَّقُوا دِينَهُمْ وَكَانُوا شِيَعًا. So Shia, they are deviation of the Muslim. They wanted, for example, to be different from other Muslims. And based on this verse, they are not good. لَسْتَ مِنْهُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ. Allah asked Rasulullah to be away from those people. And they mentioned these two ayah. This is one of the most important ayah. These two ayah are the most important verses that they recited to say that Shia, they are similar to the mushrikeen. And exactly. Yunus verse 18 and Zumar verse 3. These two ayah, they are two most important verses of the Quran that they raised to show that they are describing Shia. يعبدون من دون الله ما لا يضرهم ولا ينفعهم ويقولون هؤلاء شفعاؤنا عند الله. Allah described kuffar and mushrikeen at the time of Rasulullah. They worship other than Allah, and those that they are worshipping, they don't have any benefit, they are not beneficial for them. وَيَقُولُونَ هَؤُلَاءِ شُفَعَاؤُنَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. And they said that these are our intercessors with Allah. They are shafi'ah for us. They worship someone, they worship idols, but the justification is this. They said that they are not Allah, they are shafi'ah. So how they use this ayah. They said that Shia, exactly the same as the kuffar at the time of Rasulullah. They said that, look at this ayah. Allah says, kuffar at the time of Rasulullah, they worship idols, but they said, we are not worshipping idols. We consider them as a shafi'ah for Allah. So Shia is doing exactly the same thing. They go to the holy shrine of the Aim alayhim salam. They said, we don't worship this, but we consider them as a shafi'ah. So they are very, very similar to the kuffar at the time of Rasulullah. Look at the second ayah, Surah Al-Zumar. وَالَّذِينَ اتَّخَذُوا مِن دُونِهِ أَوْلِيَاءَ مَا نَعْبُدُهُمْ إِلَّا لِيُقَرِّبُونَ إِلَى اللَّهِ زُلْفَى. Right? So they said, وَالَّذِينَ اتَّخَذُوا مِن دُونِهِ أَوْلِيَاءَ. So those that they consider some wali, some awliya other than Allah, they said we don't worship them. مَا نَعْبُدُهُمْ. We don't worship them. But لِيُقَرِّبُونَ إِلَى اللَّهِ زُلْفَى. We go and we are close to them. We want to become close to them because by making this closeness, we want to be more close. We want to be closer to Allah. And they said, look at this time, Shia is doing exactly the same thing. They go to the Aim alayhim salam, and they said that we want to be close with them, and by having this closeness, we want to be more closer to Allah. We want to be much closer to Allah. And they said that, okay, so based on this, you are very similar with the mushrikeen at the time of Rasulullah. And they have actually some pictures. They have this picture. This is Abu Jahl, and this is one of the Rouhani of the Shia, that they said that Abu Jahl, they was very similar to that Rouhani because, they said that we don't worship idols, but we just want to put one intermediate between us and Allah. So Rouhani of the Shia, the scholar of the Shia, he said exactly the same thing. They say that we don't worship Aimma, but we want them to be in between us and Allah. This is the most important question. If you go, this is the most difficult question that you can ask you. If you go and discuss with them, they brought you these two ayah and ask you, answer this. How do you answer these two ayah? And I just want these are another poster that they have it. They say that there are three important ayat in the Quran that can destroy Shia. And you can see that these two ayah, they are among them. And if you go to the book of Kashf al-Shubahat of Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, he's the leader of the Wahhabism. Wahhabism, it was established by him. The theory of the Shirk and Tawheed, it was based on the Ibn Taymiyyah, maybe 500 years ago, before Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab. But after that, Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, he raised it, and he brought it. He brought it up, and he highlighted, and he advertised it. In his book, he mentioned exactly the same thing that, so it's not working. Okay, it's working. He mentioned the Tawheed, the Tawheed, what is the belief of the Mushrikeen at the time of Rasulullah, and they said that at this time, Muslimin at our time, they are doing the same thing, and they call them as a i'tiqad, and he said that this was what Rasulullah qatalahum ala hadha shirk. Rasulullah fought with them based on this shirk, and now he justified that we need to go and do the same thing. Okay, and this is very dangerous one. هو الذي أحل دماءهم وأموالهم. Rasulullah, he make this halal, his bloods and his properties. And this is their justification to kill Shia. Okay, so I skip all of them, because we don't have that much time. I just want to go to yes, I just want to go to this part. To answer this question, this shubha, we need to go. We tell them, you as a Wahhabi, you didn't read Quran completely. You didn't study Quran completely. If you want to see what is these ayat for, you need to go and have a comprehensive look at the Quran. If you go to the Quran, you need to go and see what is the description of the theology, what is the description of the ilahiyat of mushrikeen at the time of Rasulullah. So we tell them, go and read Quran verse by verse and see what is the theology, what is the ilahiyat of mushrikeen at the time, what is the belief of mushrikeen at the time of Rasulullah, and then you can understand these two verses based on this picture. You cannot, for example, isolate these two ayah and consider this. No, go and see what they believe. If you go and see, for example, the belief of the mushrikeen at the time of Rasulullah, first, one of the core belief of them is they consider Allah has some daughters. Allah has daughters, right? وَجَعَلَ, how many times? 2 minutes? Oh. I just defined this shubha, but I couldn't. I will try my best. More lectures. They said that, inshallah, we'll finish as soon as. He has some daughters. He has some creation from himself, but they are with his type, وَجَعَلَ لَهُ مِنْ إِبَادِهِ جُزْءًا. This is very important. Some of his ibad, some of his creation, they consider them as a juz of Allah, as a part of Allah, as a type of Allah. This is a very big problem. You cannot ignore this. The belief is this one. In this theology, they have some creation like malaika. They say that malaika, they are daughter of Allah, and and they have the same type of Allah. And if you go, there are many ayat in the Quran that they said that Allah has a child, has a child and wife. مَا اتَّخَذَ صَاحِبَةً وَلَا وَلَدًا. Allah doesn't have any wife. Allah doesn't have any son. They believe into this. But Allah negate them. Allah doesn't have any son. Allah doesn't have any wives. And I will skip them. All of these ayat shows that they have this belief that Allah has daughters. Allah has some sons and also daughters. This is very interesting. These daughters that they have they are females, and they are angels, or they are some jinn, and they are goddess. They have the same type of Allah. This is one of the part of their belief. And if we go and see this, the other part that you can see is, they consider Allah has a nid. Nid means sharik, means, if you go to the meaning of the nid means someone, if you go here, nid is a person. الند ما كان مثل الشيء يضاده في عمره. Nid is a being with the same type of that being, but they are opposite with each other, they are against with each other. So if you go to the Quran said, mushrikeen at the time of Rasulullah, they consider Allah فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا. They consider for Allah andad. Andad means the same type of Allah. So this is their belief. Allah has a nid. Nid means the same being with the same type. وَجَعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا, right? And these are their beliefs. So this is the second part of their belief. And the third part of their belief is, look at this ayah. This ayah said that they consider, لَوْ كَانَ مَعَهُ no, sorry, that one. Oh, okay. Yes. ما اتخذ الله من ولد وما كان معه من إله إذن لذهب كل إله بما خلق ولعلى بعضهم على بعض. If Allah has some beings with His type, they can go, if they are independent, they can go and overcome over Allah. They can overtake the power of Allah. إذن لذهب كل إله بما خلق ولعلى بعضهم على بعض. This means independence. If Allah has some creature and this creature can go and fight with Allah and defeat Allah, this means that they are independent. So this shows that whatever they believe as a shirk, as those beings similar to Allah, they are independent. So they consider some creation similar to Allah, and also they showed that they are independent, and also they believe that they are need of Allah. So I will stop here because this is the time of the Salat. But as a summary, I just want to mention there are two important verses of the Quran that they use and challenge you. You need to study Quran in complete, in comprehensive, and see what is the items, what is the beliefs of the mushrikeen at the time of Rasulullah, and then understand this ayah in this picture. So if you go and see what is the belief of the mushrikeen at the time of Rasulullah, you cannot, for example, assign this to the Shia at this time. My message here is this: they mistake, they play that with the game that they play with us is exactly this. They go and just choose one ayat of the Quran, and they said that this reflects the belief of the mushrikeen at the time of Rasulullah. But this is not complete. We want to have a complete picture, inshallah. Okay, so وصلوا على محمد وآله الأطهار. Allah.